Now I'm on the hot seat today. You know, and then there's nothing in my letter that says anything about eyebrow juice. I don't know where they got that from. Yeah, it's in there. They talk about eyebrow juice. Yeah. I mean, did you see it? Did y'all see the letter? Did you see the letter? Did you see it? They know what they got.
Starting already, huh? That doesn't surprise me anyway. Who's missing?
Committee meeting will come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Okay. First thing on the agenda is the resolution adopting the strategic plan. We're just going to, this is a committee meeting, so what we're going to do is just discuss. You do have a copy of the strategic plan in your packets. You can kind of look over it. You can, I know you won't be able to get it done today. Can you hear me now? Yes. What about now? Yes. Okay. You can look over those, that whole packet, and that's what we'll be voting on to adopt that plan next week at the board meeting. So if there's any questions, quite naturally let me know before that time, and we'll put that on the agenda for that first one. The second one, number 2, the ordinance repealing the ordinance 15-009 and 15-008. That's an ordinance that we had on the books for the public safety and village administrator. I would like to repeal that. I'll get the new ordinance out to everyone by Friday. We have to get it made up. Basically, we're going to abolish the village administrator's position right now. And maybe at a later date we can bring it back, but right now I would like to had that repealed. So that's something else. There's no ordinance for it yet, so we have to create an ordinance to actually repeal that. The next, number 3, ordinance creating the Director of Economic Development. That's a new position. That's something that I would like to create for the village, something that we solely need. And that ordinance will be made up. I just got the qualifications, and we just got through doing that with me and the new HR administrator, which is something that we had already, but we just never utilized the person. So that's something that trustees, you guys can, you'll have that ahead of time and discuss it. You can, let me know ahead of time, or let me know by Friday if there's any problems with what you see, but you'll get that hopefully before Friday. Number 4, an ordinance amending the Sauk Village Municipal Code, the Treasurer section. As you know, we don't have a treasurer, so we're going to enact that, bring that back, and establishing a 1-year term and the provisions for removal with a two-thirds vote. So that's something you guys, as far as the trustees are concerned, can look at that. That ordinance will be ready also by Thursday, that you can take a look at it, and if you have any questions again, you can let me know about that, and then I'll be here every day. So, and I know most of you trustees already see me here every day, so I'll be here every day, but all these things that we're giving to the lawyers, we only had a week to do it, so quite naturally it's going to take a little time for them to actually produce it, but you'll have it in time in your packets in plenty of time. Also, I want to create the licenses, the liquor licenses, number 5 and number 6. The liquor licenses are not, they're in the sunset period, which means that they were abolished after they didn't renew them. So what I would like to do and ask the board to create an R1 license, and it's going to be done. I'm going to come to the board each and every time we create an R1 license and ask them to do that, and also to remove the provision for sunset. Sunset, like I stated, means that that license no longer exists, but we need to bring it out of sunset just in case we need to utilize that. Number 7, everyone here knows that they have a committee, and what I want to do is create an ordinance establishing the standing committees. So your committees are still the same, but I'm going to create an ordinance that we have on the books that your committee is part of the standing committee. So I just want to, nothing's going to change except that the ordinance will be put in words in the book. And also, number 8, financial policies and procedures. This is the financial policies and procedures. It's pretty thick and it's pretty lengthy, but I'm trying to figure out if I should email it to you or use it and print it out. So I'm asking the board right now, would you like email so you can download it yourself, put it on the card, or do you want the actual copy?
I'm still unable to get into the email, so I will need a hard copy.
Hard copy is fine.
Okay, so I'll have these printed. Today is Tuesday. They should be in your boxes by tomorrow afternoon. So that's not a problem. I just wanted to find out before I started printing it, because you may say, well, I wanted to get an email. And then number 9, appointment of the vacant of a new trustee. We're going to go into executive session about that, but I just want you to keep in mind that there is a vacancy for the position of trustee. So if you have any nominations or any person that you would like to recommend for that position, I would appreciate if we can get some type of letter or something between now and Friday. And then number 10 is in your packet, the Robinson Engineering's MFT CDBG resurfacing bid. Would you guys take a look at that? It should be in your packet. Okay. As you can see on the first one, I go with the first one, the 2017 sanitation. No, I'll go with the second one. Okay, MFT CDBG. You saw the proposals, and you can see it highlighted or asterisk next to it that the low bidder was Iroquois Paving Corporation. And so that was recommended by our engineers that we go with that. So we'll be voting on that next week. And then you got the breakdown. Did everyone see the breakdown? Was on the back 2 pages. And any questions on that? Okay. And then the second one is the sewer cleaning bids. And that was also passed on to our engineers. And the lowest bid is National Power Riding Corporation. So that was what the engineers recommended, National Power Riding Corporation. So that'll be placed on the agenda next week to be voted on.
Mr. Mayor, how often do we get the sewers?
To tell you the truth, I've been a trustee for quite a while, and this is the second time that I know that we actually went out and did it now. Second time I've known that it happened. I'll put it that way. I'm not saying I don't know how often, but I would figure in the last 11 years, the second time I saw it actually happen. So, but not saying that it doesn't happen more often, I was just not aware of it. The CDBG money that we're supposed to get, we're still waiting on that. That's probably one of the reasons why the resurfacing is at a standstill. But right now, as of today, no, we haven't gotten it in. I don't count anything in until I see the money. I mean, I see promises, I see projected dates, but until I see money in account, then yes, we got it in. But right now, we haven't. We asked for 400,000 from the CDBG. MFT is something different. We'd have to subsidize that with what we need to complete the project. So past practices, we asked for 4, we got 2. This time they claim they're gonna give us the 4 because they didn't give us anything last year, so they claimed it's gonna happen. So as you know, we don't have a budget yet in Springfield, so all that type of stuff is being put on hold, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. Okay. I see Mr. Tate has something that he wants to bring forth to the board, so at this time I'll let Mr. Tate take care of it. Trustee Tate, I don't know what
My first question actually goes to Clerk Campbell Pruitt. At the last meeting that we had when we talked about resolutions, I had not received a copy of it. I don't know if it was placed in my box and I didn't get a chance to get to it. Is there a copy of the resolution that we currently have that I can receive?
That resolution was provided today to me. However, there is an unsigned copy that the trustee just shared with me, but the signed copy was delivered, hand-delivered today.
Mr. Mayor, a problem with that? If this is a resolution, then it should have been prepared when we took the vote last week, actually. We should have had that document then. Was this copy that you received today certified, village stamp, and all that good stuff?
No.
Then it is my position it's an invalid document. If it doesn't have the seal of Sauk Village with the former mayor's signature and even the former clerk's signature on it, it should not be something that we're taking up because it doesn't exist. I mean, I will go through and talk about this, but we're repealing something that does not exist.
Okay, so what you, and I understand what the clerk is saying, Madam Clerk, that the document that you have that was given to you today does not have the signature of the mayor at the time and the clerk at the time?
The copy that I received today has the signature. He asked if it has the seal. It does not have the corporate seal.
That's something we have to talk to legal about. So do you want to wait until that time? I mean, because if it doesn't, I'm not clear on, I'm not professed to be a lawyer. I do know that if it's signed, but I don't know if the seal actually makes it legal or just a signature, so.
Well, what I'm saying is that if it does not have the corporate seal on it, who's to say when that document was created and or signed? I would think that that should have been in the transition period when you took over the village. That's the document should have been presented to you at that time. You showed that it was a legal document that was developed during the time period that the former mayor was active and the former clerk was active. By it being given in today, that's beyond the period between clerk and mayor.
As I stated, I'll get in touch with the lawyers to find out. I'm not going to make that type of ruling. I don't know, but it is questionable, especially that it wasn't turned over at the time transitional period. But you got to understand the transitional period didn't happen at last Tuesday. Her transitional period that she got her documentations and keys and everything did not happen that Tuesday. So I didn't know until today that that document came across. So I need to find out before we make a ruling, and we'll contact the lawyer to find out. That's all you have. Yes.
Speak up.
Okay, as was stated, she did not get a copy of the ordinance until today. So she didn't have time to even do that. So first, no, that's also, yes. She just got a copy of that ordinance today. So I need to find out, first of all, is it legal before we go any further? And then if it is, then we quite naturally, we can go from there.
Just to bring you up to date, we were told that we would receive a copy of the ordinance that was going to be revised by the Budget and Finance Committee in conjunction with the trustee that was over that committee. Because we wanted to establish what are the standards. Why are we saying 12 years, you get a sign instead of 8 or 15? Why are we saying 12 years? So they're supposed to develop an ordinance, which I think that may be it, that establishes on, we're going to decide on the number of years, and here's why we're going to decide on the number of years. And it applies to everyone who meets that standard. So that happened the last meeting, before the last meeting.
Well, it's gonna stay above board. I mean, that's not gonna, there's not gonna be anything done below board or behind the back, you know. But you want to make the senior committee a standing committee. That's something we can definitely, that's another thing I want to, if that's the case, then I have to have ordinance drawn up. Okay? All right. No, it exists for quite a long time. Yeah, it's been quite long. I go all the way back to, I know of Zeke Luther. That was so now, that's been a while. But it goes further back. But I mean, I'm just saying that's when I first. Okay, that's something we can look at. It's not a problem. Yes, sir.
Why was it never considered a standing committee? Do you know any?
Well, at the time when like I said, when I came on, at the time, it was a committee that really didn't have a lot of teeth in it. They met. Zeke Luther was basically in charge. They brought information back and forth, but they didn't have so-called building. They didn't have a lot of other programs that they had. They just met, and it was information. Now it's grown to much more than that. So, you know, I can understand where Trustee Brewer was trying to look at so he could put, but it doesn't mean, and that's what I really wanted to tell you, it doesn't mean that once the committee is established that it's going to have a budget. I'm just saying, so okay, so I mean, don't come back and say, well, now that we have this committee, how much money can we get? So I'm just letting you know that it won't have a budget, but I can definitely go and look at it.
Mr. Mayor, for the record, could you tell us what committees are not standing committees?
Well, we're going to make them all. Right now, to tell you the truth, well, no, it's not beautification. The committees that are not standing, no, that's not one of the committees. Not standing. But yes, it would be beautification, but also, the not standing committees are not public safety. The committee that I appointed you to, that's not a standing committee. Parks and Recs is a standing committee, Finance is a standing committee, Ordinance Review is a standing committee, Public Relations. Housing is not a standing committee. Yes. So I'll get that out to you guys ahead of time before we get. Is that it? Okay, let's go to item number 5, public comment. Everyone? Yes? There's no mic? Okay, does someone put a mic up there? And please state your name clearly so the clerk can, and at this time, I don't have a stopwatch, but if we go too long, I'll just ask you to tell you if it just, oh, she has, oh, okay, she has a stopwatch. Thank you.
Is it working?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Pat Couch. The person you appointed as the senior committee chair recently sued our village and the committee on allegations of discrimination. She stated she was not allowed to use the senior center for a senior program. She mentioned this at countless meetings and was adamant about it that she needed to file a lawsuit. Yet the first thing she does when she is sworn in is to shut down our senior programs and remove activities and their supplies that have been in place since the building was built. She, with your approval, has fired the volunteers of the senior committee. Some of them have volunteered and participated in senior activities for over 20 years. Her supposed reasoning is she saw an insect. Countless activities have been held on a weekly basis since this building was opened. To my knowledge, no one has ever reported a problem. So why now? Have you contacted an exterminator? If so, what is their name? What was the cost of the project? What is the project amount of time needed to complete the extermination? 6 weeks seems like a long time to exterminate an area the size of the senior center. And was that where this insect was found? Unless the company you calls runs on the same timeline that the insurance company Trustee Tate uses when he made his campaign office a drive-through. Seems to me like this is retaliation for her supposed...
Excuse me, she's talking.
Thank you. Seems to me like this is retaliation for her supposed exclusion. I say supposed since she signed paperwork stating that she was actually not discriminated against, and in actuality she was instructed to follow the bylaws of the committee, had already been put in place, and agreed to a senior committee representative to be present at her group's events. She even asked for the balance of funds for the senior committee, a committee she did not support in any fashion, money she did not raise. The worst part is that Mayor Burgess not only allowed this act of retaliation, racism, ageism, and intended misappropriation of funds, he signed off on it, making him accountable for these acts. Thank you.
Are you little mad or big mad?
Did you want an answer or you through? No, that's what I'm asking. Did you want an answer?
That would be great.
I appreciate it if you, okay, well, if you want to sit down while I answer, that's no problem. But what I want to tell, and I want to say this, so I hope that you can understand and hear, I'm talk so you can hear me. First of all, the senior center was not shut down due to insects. I don't know where that came from. The senior center was not shut down due to insect infestation. No, it was not. I don't know where that came from. I don't know who put that. I'd like to see that in writing myself because it was not shut down for that reason, number one. Number two, the reason why it was temporarily closed because it's going through a restructuring process. We have to restructure. It's been going on, as you just stated, for 20 years. We need to get in there to find out exactly what's there, who owns what, who controls what, and how they control it. I remember a few years ago, I was the person that was called to ask to mentor some of the disputes that was going on with the seniors. I don't know if you remember that, but that did happen. And at that time, I did try to do the best I could to try to mentor the arguments that were going on with the seniors. Now, as you stated, it's been going on for a while and will continue to go on. No one is going to shut anyone out, but we have to shut it down to find out what we're going to do. When you update and upgrade your computer, you reboot it. We're rebooting the senior center so we can make sure it is better for everyone. That's all that is. It's not a shutdown. We're not pushing anybody out. We're just temporarily rebooting and updating the senior process. And if that includes the building, then that includes the building. But it's only one time. It's only 1 month. So I understand and I appreciate. I was hoping that you guys would understand that's all it is. Yes, I signed off on it because I got her to volunteer to do that. We had another person that was a trustee. I felt that a trustee would be better to take care of it than just to have a regular volunteer because there was so many problems going on. It was asked to have a trustee to take care of the seniors. It was asked to be a liaison. That's what the trustee is going to be, a liaison. It's going to be a new board that will be voted on between the seniors themselves and the senior committee. It's going to work independently, but you have to have someone. I cannot do that at this time, take care of the seniors and then do the things I need to do day to day. So that's why I asked Trustee Brewer, who graciously said I would take care, I would volunteer to do this, and I was thankful. She has another committee, so this is her second committee that she's going to be doing. So in that process, yes, in order to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. We're just trying to reorganize, which we need to do, update and upgrade.
Yeah, Frank Hart, man. 946, 123rd place. I have a friend that lives, well, they wanted me to do some work for him in the yard next door to him. What's that guy name? Mr. Moore. And it's a danger, the place he wanted me to clean, the yard that he wanted me to clean. You can't even see the house because the bushes is too high. And it's not his property, so, but him and his wife don't feel safe with that area over there. That's one thing I talked about.
What's the address again?
I can't think of the address, but I'll give it to you.
Okay. And is it a house or just property?
It's the property where a house was.
Okay, so just property, okay.
And it's next door, you know, next to him and his
Okay.
wife, and then they senior citizen. And the wife is kind of afraid of the coon and possums and stuff. But the main thing I come up to talk about is, y'all talking about the street name, and I think he was talking about 12 Yale or whatever.
Right.
And to me, it shouldn't make a thing about what I'm going to say. It shouldn't make a difference how long. It's what you have done. If you haven't done anything important, I don't care if you've been a trustee for 20 years, you shouldn't have a street name out. You know, if you haven't done anything important, if you done did something important in 4 years, then you were on the street. Well, yeah, that's all you've been elected 12 years. You just done fooled enough people to get you in there for 12 years. If we haven't done anything, it's recognizable. You shouldn't be, you know, whoever it is, shouldn't be getting street signs for accuracy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Edna Johnson, and I'm here representing Lincoln Meadows. I would like to bring to your attention, and I do believe that you may be aware of this, in addition to all the trustees. Lincoln Meadows has been dealing with an issue with our lights, dysfunctioning of our lights since October of 2016. This issue has been addressed with the previous administration, and so therefore I'm here representing Lincoln Meadows to bring it to your attention and also the trustees. In addition to the issues that we've had with our lights, there has been a number of incidents within Lincoln Meadows, break-ins, as well as illegal or unsolicited, in the night, if you will, activities that has been also been happening within Lincoln Meadows. We are grateful that the previous administration have established some type of barriers at the front entrance, but that doesn't do it. Because if you drive through our entrance, anytime up in the evenings after 8, 9 o'clock, you will see that it's a very dark entryway in addition to driving through the subdivision. So I'm here representing Lincoln Meadows, inviting you and all the trustees to our meeting next week, next Thursday, May 25th, at 7 o'clock. And I would like to know, before we proceed with engaging the media, in addition to an attorney, what would your next steps be?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. It's ironic that you did, because just today, because Kevin wasn't here yesterday, just today I did address that issue to him. And he assured me that Lincoln Meadows was the top of the priority, because I told him, and he knows that all the lights are out in Lincoln Meadows. So I did ask him, can we find out, and it may be a twofold. What I mean by twofold, part of our problem, part of ComEd. I basically asked him, I said, okay, that's fine, that sounds good, but I need it addressed. So I will find out tomorrow what his solution is, because I gave him a day to find out what they can do. So I will ask him tomorrow about that particular situation to find out what his plan is, and if I can, I will try to get back to you, but I already know how to get to you, so I will contact you. As far as break-ins, you're absolutely right. People are going around checking people's cars, and if your car is open, I've had my neighbor had her car open, and they went in there and ransacked it and took things out of there. That's a random thing that's going. So just today, again, I've been a little busy. I had a meeting with the police department this morning at 8 o'clock. And those are some of the things that I stressed, that I want to see more officers. I want to see more presence of officers day and night. Well, quite naturally, they want more officers, but we have to deal with what we have, and I want to see more officers out there, because that deters crime when they do see it. So that's something, like I said, that was just so happened today that you actually asked that, but those issues were addressed. And I would be more than happy to attend. Where is your meeting? Is it?
Beginning this year, meetings will be held here.
Okay, I will be here 7
o'clock next Wednesday, next Thursday, May 25th.
Okay, I'll put it, I've already wrote it down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The first thing I want to make sure it has been brought to your attention was there is an occupancy limit in this room of 260. Now, it's posted back here. Last week, there were over 300 people in here. So, first meeting, the fire code was broken, and thank God there was no emergency that required evacuation. So, I have questions about the honorary recognition. The past ordinance review committee reviewed and created an ordinance to honor significant employees and officials. Past practice, was not consistent, and trustee Tate has stated on multiple occasions that past practices should not be used to determine current decisions. Trustee Tate also stated that residents should have a voice in these decisions. Based on his comments, the committee presented a standard practice. Without a standard, how can future boards make an unbiased decision? This past year, 4 people were presented for recognition, none of whom were unanimously approved. The first was Ed Hazel. Trustee Jones voted against his recognition. He was a trustee for 11 years, mayor for 12 years, helped to form the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association in 1978, was the executive director of the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association for 17 years. During all of his years of service, he fought to bring social and economic development to not only solve. Former trustee James Schultz and Rosie Williams-Begg were presented with recognition. Their vote was 3 trustees and 4 and 3 against, with former Mayor Hanks asked to split the tie, thus approving her designation. 3 trustees felt they were not worthy of recognition. James Schultz is a veteran, served on the board for 14 years under multiple mayors, was instrumental in the beautification committee and the Christmas basket program that used to take place. He remains a long-term resident and passed on the idea of civic duty to his daughter, who has been a village employee for almost 20 years, and yet some thought he was not worthy. Rosie Williams-Begg was the first African-American trustee elected in Sauk Village, an honor many sought but could not achieve. She served as a trustee for 12 years. During that time, she not only continued the 4-year tradition of Student Government Day, but she personalized it for every student and added more activities for the students. Time.
Just let them talk.
Rose Ketchum. Violations of the Open Meeting Act. In your first meeting, Mayor, you blindly violated the Open Meeting Act. By your agenda list of public comments, you decided to skip it since there were so many people present. You did not move to alter the agenda to do this. You just did it. Even if you would have moved to do this, it would have been a violation. In fact, you should have been aware of. This is, Trustee Tate points this out during the last administration. It appears you intend to violate the Open Acts again tonight. Your agenda lists that you intend to discuss filling an open public office during your executive session. Please be reminded that public officials are not employees, therefore cannot be discussed in executive sessions. I know members of the board have falsely accused the former board of sending agendas to the attorneys. So maybe you guys should do it to avoid further violation.
No, you're because of a violation.
Any more? Okay. Oh.
Tammy Jones, just something to keep a heads up when I know we're close to the end of the school year. However, that pathway to Rickover, 223rd Street, they're only mowing the first 2 rows of that. And we talked about this last year, that that's a danger to our children. So I don't know if you and Dr. Lee can get together, but somebody needs to attend to that before we come back in office.
What path, could you kind of be more specific?
223rd between Torrance Avenue and Plum Drive.
Okay, you talking about, are you talking in the middle or you talking about on the
The
side?
path that goes up to Rickover, off of 223rd Street, there's a path
Okay.
that goes up to Rickover, but the grass surrounding that path, they're only cutting the first 2 rows, which leaves the rest of that almost a forest. Yes, by the daycare.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda Washington, 1763 Ross Crescent. First of all, I want to say that on the agenda tonight, you have listed a ordinance creating Director of Economic Development. I hope that this is not a job that's trying to be created to give somebody employment to do economic development. I remember the last administration, the mayor took that on with the attorneys, and I don't understand why we need to pay someone to do economic development when that should be something that the mayor and the attorneys could continue to do since we have no money in Sauk Village. Also, I heard someone get up and talk about vandalism in their neighborhood since Neighborhood Watch has been disbanded, with 40 block club captains we no longer exist. My phone has continuously been ringing with people that's been experiencing vandalism in their neighborhoods. I let them know that there's no longer Neighborhood Watch, that they should call the village hall and get some direction on who they should call, but definitely do call the police. That's what the police is there for, 911, to continue to call the police until another program is put in place. I know that the former Neighborhood Watch Committee members did go on site when they got those type of phone calls and had vandalism to come and to assist the block club captains when they were calling for assistance. So if there could be something put in place to let residents know on the weekend or at the various times when they want someone to actually come out and help. I don't know what to tell them to do, so they need some clarity on that. Also, I want to mention that I have had a lot of parents talk to me in regard to Parks and Recs going from a $50 camp to a $410 camp per child per household. This is an area where poverty is not a secret. I just wish that there was some other means where we could create or come up with a device where we can let parents drop their children off and do something that would cost them $410 to do. I've heard a lot about doing campaign times. Everyone had a lot of volunteers. We have hundreds of volunteers. We have lots of volunteers, so maybe those volunteers can get together and come up with some creative board games or hopscotch or jumping rope or do something that could help subsidize a parent that have 2 children, 3 children. They cannot afford to pay $1,200 for a camp per child, non-refundable after June the 1st. The first $100 and $10 processing fee. Also, if it's the same woman that's been doing the last camp, they vandalized the community center to the extent that the mop people that clean up, mop heads refused to even clean up the community center. They sent us pictures of it and said they would no longer clean up the community center because it was being destroyed by the camp. Also, Public Works said that they kicked out the gazebo around the site. They had to restore that. Kevin Weller, checked with him. So I hope that they do supervise the camp. Also, I want to say in conclusion that there are a lot of issues that's going on with the renaming of the signs. If you serve 12 years and you get a street sign, to me, that's not that it's not important, but we have some real serious issues in Sauk Village. We are with a new mayor.
Open and transparent. In the first meeting of this administration, there were 4 appointments made. There was no public review of these appointments during the meeting or even prior review with the board members. Is that open and transparent? The second meeting agenda today lists 9 ordinances on the agenda for discussion, except nobody has a packet. This is supposed to be a business meeting. How can you have a business meeting if people not knowing what they're supposed to be talking about? Okay? The agenda states that the board does not have to respond to the questions asked of them. Is that open and transparent? The agenda, you and the person you say is the chair of the senior committee attended the senior committee meeting last week. This new chair was not discussed or approved by the village board. Is that open and transparent? Even though you attended the meeting, you decided to wait until the following day to inform the senior committee of your intent to remove them and shut down the center, instead of doing it at the meeting so it could be recorded in the minutes. Is that open and transparent? Multiple members of the current board have chastised the former administration, being secretive and not open. You have yelled at the former mayor for not answering questions when people asked you. You all in on being so much more open and transparent and to provide answers. These examples are the very things you swore you would not do, the very things you ran against. And yet in your first week in office, you have done them all. You have left yourselves open to the identification of your transparent face. Mayors speak and review. You run on a pathway to progress, yet it seems like there are shades of the past. You chose to be sworn in by a judge, not normal procedure. Also, after being sworn in, you appointed people and decisions without prior discussion with the board. And now you are making decisions for a town that you have stated is too low to keep the current employees. Who else did that? Louis Towers, a man who spent years admonishing and trying to overturn every move he made, and yet you personally received the actions like he did. Or maybe you are more like independent. Within 1 week of you being sworn in, you have
did the same thing. Short, like this management software, which sports association, never.
No.
That's what I want to say. Now,
Okay, I understand, ma'am, but if I let you do that, I'll let everybody else do the same thing. But I'll tell you this, after the meeting's over, we can still talk. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, well, I said after the meeting's over, we can still talk. I'm not going anywhere.
Rose Langston. I'm just wondering on the employment, people that are hired as employees, I would like to know if they have a background check on them, especially when they handle any financing. And another thing, you mentioned that the senior center was not shut down. I don't know why you say it's not shut down when we're told to evacuate, remove all equipment. You've got seniors 70 and 80s, I don't know if we have any 90s, trying to work to remove things. We had a senior board meeting on Thursday. The meeting ended at 8 o'clock at night. The next day, after 3:30, 4 o'clock, I was in the ladies' room and I was handed a letter telling me that the committee was disbanded, which I have no problem with, but we had to have everything removed by the 18th. That's Thursday. Otherwise, they'd be thrown away. If you don't call that a wonderful Mother's Day gift for the seniors, presented to us, and also asking 70 and 80 years old to be packing and moving. We moved in here over 9 years ago, and you're giving us how many days? Thank you. We don't have keys in here either. And a lot of times, we're only available in the evening.
Okay, Ms. Langston, I just want to say, first of all, you made the statement that I said that I was going to close it down, and you also made the statement that I was that it's a Mother's Day gift or whatever the case may be, that you didn't have time to move and you didn't have keys. The very next day, I saw people moving things out. Someone had keys to open that door. I thought all the keys were turned in. Obviously, they weren't, but if they weren't, that's fine. But they were moving out. I don't know why it's such a bad or whatever. As far as criticism is concerned, I have no problem with that. I know that taking its share. But when your lies are told, being told about what I did, I just got to mentioning what I did do and how it was and what I instructed and asked, because they were asked that they needed to purge the senior center so they can see just how things, and when they bring the clubs back, how the space is utilized. It was just thrown in there. But if you want to continue to keep going back and forth about the senior center, I'm sorry. But that's part of the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to make some changes so it can be conducive to every single citizen and senior in South Village, not a select few. So I'm so sorry that you may feel that way, but I'm here to tell you on the record, I'm not throwing anyone out. We're having things taken out because we need to purge. We need to intelligently staff that senior center. We need to make it open for everyone. I've already asked to have it open every day so you can have a senior center in the morning and in the afternoon. Have people so you don't have to go to McDonald's or whatever. But to put it up there as if I actually took a person, threw them out on the street, to have nowhere to go and have nothing to do is totally wrong. That's totally wrong. I would never do that. I understand what seniors and what they migrate for. Believe me, I do. I don't sit up and talk about it all the time because it's nobody's business but mine. But I know what it takes, and I know what seniors, believe me, I know what they look forward to. That's why I want to make it open. That's why I want to make it for everybody. Not just I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you had 3 minutes. I'm not trying to cut you off, but we're not going to do this. But all I'm saying is, I'm sorry that a few people or some people got upset about it, but it's for the greater good of the village. That's what I'm here for the greater good of the village. And that's all that we're trying to do, and that's all that we were asked to do. Who's next? Because I say she doesn't pay attention.
My name is Bernadine Hopkins. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Well, what I needed to know, the lighting situation. Our lights are on every other night on around 221st and Yates. And when I say it's dark down Yates, I mean it's dark. It's totally unsafe. We've got a number of abandoned houses and so on and so forth. And, okay, that goes along with the territory, but these new lights are just not cutting it. When they're on, they're not, the illumination is totally, it's useless, okay? But when they're off, oh well now, okay? So could you please have somebody to look into that? That's been going on for some time. Okay, so that concludes that part. The other thing was this. I was involved and am involved somewhat in senior relaxation at the senior building. And, excuse me, but there were certain comments made that I know are not true. And one of them was this, the fact that the various groups were not being discriminated against. Yes, they were. Our particular group has to have a gentleman oversee us, basically, when we conduct our meetings, and he's not a trustee or anything. Excuse me. They have invisible bylaws that nobody seems to be able to present. So it's like a lot of rules that aren't written anywhere, but people are verbalizing them and implementing them. So I don't think that's fair, and I'm glad that you all are basically starting over. And I want to add, some of the old ideas I think are good. So I hope it's like all-inclusive and like nobody gets in. Excuse me. I'm very nervous when it comes to speaking at public. I'm sorry. The senior camp, I wasn't aware that it was $450. I wasn't aware that it was $450 to participate in that. I wanted to know if there were like any fundraisers or anything like that that were being implemented or could be implemented to help, you know, defray some of the costs, because I think the summer camp is a good idea. So, thank you.
Okay, in answer to your first one about the lights, I don't know if you were here when I talked about that, addressed it at the very beginning of the meeting for public comment. I did talk to Kevin, and the explanation that he gave me was a technical one. I kind of understood it, but the lights come on to a transformer. And that transformer somehow or another doesn't utilize the 120 volts that it needs to turn it on. That transformer needs to be updated and upgraded because the voltage that goes to there triggers and trips out that transformer. And we need to, I'm hoping that we don't have to, but even stating that we may need to rewire. We don't have money to rewire when y'all don't light in the building. So I'm hoping that we can come up with a different solution to make that happen, because it's just too many lights that are out. We have a whole community with lights out. So I'm hoping that it's not something that we can readily fix. And you're absolutely right, this didn't happen until we got the new lights. So I don't know if they caused it or whatever, the voltage, but that's something that should have been looked at the time, but maybe the lights they sent us, everything was fixed because it was good. They actually wired it. So we don't know, but hopefully that we can get that taken care of. And as far as the seniors, that was the reason, because we had old and new. We had old policies with new ideas. That's why we're doing that. We have to step back a minute and try to, but it's only going to take us 30 days to do that. So we have to step back a minute, revamp, because we want to throw someone out, no. Because it's like when you get your house remodeled, sometimes you can stay in there and do it. While I live there, sometimes you cannot, and that's all. Yeah, you're from,
Can you explain the sunset provisions to me? Because my understanding of that is that a 4 o'clock liquor license versus a 2 o'clock liquor license. Is that true?
no. Sunset means, once that license has expired and it is not renewed by whoever that had that license, it gets retired, sunset. So it's not available anymore. So I have to remove that provision in order to make licenses available again. Now, what you're talking about is the 4 o'clock ruling, that the establishment could be open. That's something that we would have to, look at if that's the case. If they want a 4 o'clock license, that would be something.
Okay. The other thing is, that, I'm sorry, back to the senior center. Can't we let the seniors use the community center instead of the senior center for right now? Because a lot of these seniors, they have nothing to do, they're looking for somewhere to go, and their only outlet is to go to the community center or the senior center to associate with people. To deny them of that for 30 days or 6 weeks or whatever it is, that's really kind of harsh. And I think we need to allow them to meet somewhere, whether it be continue to meet in the senior center and still revamp it, whatever you're going to do. Just don't keep their things there. Or use the community center for it, but let them meet. Let whoever wants to meet. I don't see the big problem.
The community center has a lot of activities that go on during the day.
Right.
They have the Respond Now, they have Panero Bread, they have other activities during the day. And in the evening, they have other things that they have a fitness class there and other things that happen. So to use that particular building wouldn't be conducive because they have programs that are going on. As far as the seniors, I'm just asking them for 30 days. I mean, I understand that it's maybe an inconvenience. It may be an inconvenience, I understand that. But I'm just asking for 30 days for something so we can.
6 weeks. When you're old, it is a lot of days.
No, I understand that, but like I said,
That might be their only people that they talk to.
I understand that, but right now, there's no other recourse. I don't have any, right now I cannot truthfully tell you that we can do this because we have to revamp. There has to be, things have to be put in place. There has to be a new board. I understand I was at the meeting, they were asked anyone wanted to be, included or whatever. I didn't say for the whole meeting, but I stayed for most of it. But it's something that needed to be done a while ago. I don't know if you were around back when there was back and forth. They were arguing about who had a club, who didn't have a club, who was in charge, who wasn't in charge. Can I keep this? And there's no room for that. I mean, all that was going on over the years. And so I said, at this particular point in time, and when it came, I said, let's revamp, let's start this over again. And that's how it came. But I'm sorry, and I mean it, I'm sorry that it is inconvenient, but it's only until June 30th, from the 18th to the 30th.
Good evening, Jan Clark. A couple things. You mentioned tonight I think it was Cecil, well, you all know your committees. I don't know who has what committee. And when the other mayor decided that he would have 2 people on each committee, are you going to continue that? Okay, good. All right. Number 1, I hope you will answer who has what committees so it gets on tape and those at home can know as well. I had an idea. Sauk Trail is very busy. There's a light there. There's also 2 blocks away this police station. Many times I know the police and the firemen have to slow down for traffic, even though they have their lights on. Maybe there's a kid that's been hit. Maybe there's somebody that's in their home having problems. The patrol people are going to a call with other things on their mind. There may be a time when they may not go both ways. You know, they may have their lights on and such, but other towns have an emergency white light that tells the other drivers that an emergency vehicle is going to be coming into that roadway. Could we consider that?
That's a good point. I like that because there is one on 394, but I don't think there is one right here on Torrance.
No, I don't think so.
That's a good point. And not only that, I don't know how many people here knew that that was that reason that that light came on. A lot of people didn't know that, but I'm glad you explained that.
Okay.
Because that is a good point. And that would kind of let the person know that's coming up, that's driving up, even though their light is green, that it may turn red because that's what's happening. And that's a good point. I'll check into that.
Okay. Two more. I mentioned at one other meeting that I felt that the lighting was not good enough by the east entrance. All there is two little, like, pop lights or whatever you want to call them, you know, small lights. And I think we need some kind of floodlights, even if they only turn on, you know, like something you can get at Menards or something, when people walk past, even if that's what as low as we need to go. But when I noticed coming to the meeting that there was a lot of kids back there playing basketball, which is great, and a lot of children, brought me to mind also about Parks and Recs and the fencing. Fencing is down. Fencing's been down. And I don't know who's going to fix that, or if the other retention, whatever you want to call it, funds have anything on them.
I have to stop. I have to stop. The time is up.
Oh.
On the issue of the lights at the you're talking about the basketball playground, that's something that's a safety, because we really wouldn't like kids to be out there at nighttime playing basketball, because they can really get hurt because you can't see everything. So that's a safety issue why there's no lights at the playground. So, so that's something that's the reason why there's no lights there. Because even though that pad is there, there's a soft spot on each side, and they may not be able to see it while they're playing basketball, so someone can get hurt. No, I'm talking about the lights. You're talking about the playground.
No, I'm talking about by the end of the building, the entrance to the building.
Oh.
He said, if you put lights on.
Oh, okay, you're talking about, okay, I was wrong, then, okay.
The kids will be there all night.
Okay. Okay, yeah, they will. Okay, thank you. Yes, Ms.
Judy Cast here. I'm going to try to bring this up in order. First of all, there was a mention of a violation due to the amount of people that were in here for the last meeting. I think that's the manner in which it was introduced is incorrect. Maybe there were too many people, but you had the mayor at the time sitting up there that didn't make a move to change things. You had a fire chief and a police chief that know how to read that sign also. But they didn't make a move to change things. Over 2 hours of the first half of the meeting, nobody said anything about there's a violation here. Nobody tried to straighten it out. But then your half of the meeting, oh my God, you did the bad thing. So that's strike one against you. Now let's get on to the bugs. Who's controlling the bugs? Who did you call in to take care of this and all that kind of stuff? The bugs have been here for a long time. They're in this room. during a meeting, there was a cockroach walking on the floor, and I hit the arm of Sergeant Salisbury and pointed it out to her, and she lifted her feet. And I leaned close to her and said, "Shoot it." Well, when she got up to speak, she did step on it. That was reported. None of the ladies put their purses on the floor anymore. They put them up. But it was reported, and supposedly the people were called in to take care of the situation. So apparently there's somebody on staff that knows who to get a hold of. Okay, I need to move on then because this is, as far as transparency goes, you know, 1 week's time and you're considered number 2 strike, you're not transparent. But the previous administration didn't tell us when the bug people left. You know, the guys that did check to see if there were any bugs up there and then put their own up there? Yeah, they were here for a while and had their own private office and all that good stuff. They were brought in and then all of a sudden they left and nobody knew about that. That wasn't explained. You had a second person put on all the committees. That wasn't explained to any of us. That wasn't transparent, but now they want it to be transparent. And I feel they're correct in wanting it to be transparent. But I feel that you need more than a week to get started. Okay, I still say shoot the bugs.
Okay, we're going to close to go to executive session. We'll be back to adjourn. Shouldn't be that long. So I'll entertain the motion to go to executive session. It was moved by Trustee Brewer, second by Trustee Grant. Madam Clerk. I'm going to, when I come back, I'm going to make those announcements. Come back and call the roll. Executive session. Okay, we're reconvening the meeting. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Here, by Trustee Grant.
Here.
Here.
Trustee Tate and Trustee Todd.
Here.
Okay. At this time, I know I didn't put it on the agenda. That was my oversight. But I want, if there's any comments from the trustees? We'll start with Trustee Brewer.
Okay. Mrs. Mayor, the senior center will be closed until June 30th. Anybody who's interested?
The mic. Oh, you can take it out. There you go. Let's take it out. There you go.
The senior center will be closed until June 30th. Anybody who's interested in being on the senior committee should submit a letter of consideration, and you can leave it at the front desk. We're taking letters from everybody. Citizens, residents, anybody who's interested in the senior committee can submit a letter of consideration. Please submit it at the front desk. Anybody who has personal items in the senior center right now, please remove them, because we like to know, take inventory and do some cleaning. The center will be back up and running as soon as possible. But please submit your letter of consideration. We're looking for new ideas, old ideas, and we're going to merge it, and we're going to work with everybody in the village. So with that being said, I have a new phone number. I don't know what it is, but feel free to call me. Okay? I'm here all the time, okay? So nobody can say they didn't get me on the phone. Call me at the village hall. They'll put me back on my phone, okay? I'm sorry, what'd you say? Call me.
Call me a new number.
She's talking about call Village Hall and ask to be connected to our village.
Finance and Budget Committee meetings, dates will be finalized soon, preferably by next meeting. If you're interested, please come see me after the meeting.
We're finalizing the plans for Memorial Day celebration. It'll be on Memorial Day. It's going to start at 11 o'clock. And we've asked that the police and fire provide the color guards for that ceremony. So if you'd like to come out for the ceremony, it'll be held here at the Veterans Memorial. And we hope to have a couple of guest speakers that'll be here for that event. That's Memorial Day, and we're having the police and fire to provide color guard. We also have asked Bloom Trail to provide one of their musicians from their band who will come out and play taps for us. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I talked to the assistant principal today, but we don't have a confirmation because school will be out. So it has to be someone that's willing to volunteer his or her time to come out here and participate with us. It'll be good if we go back and implement the community services program that was recommended a year ago, because then the students can still receive community services time by participating with us. There's a lot of talk about the street sign naming, and I had proposed to repeal the resolution on that, and we kind of found out it doesn't exist. So I had someone to prepare some things for us, just an overview, and I want to read this for you. Where are the honors for those who made a difference in Sauk Village? Where is the honor for Vincent Sauter, who's the original settler of Sauk Village? We have no street sign for him. Where is the street sign for the Shaler family, who paved the way not only for Sauk Village but our school district? How about honoring Ted Theodore, the former superintendent of schools, former fire chief, former trustee? Where is the street sign honoring Leroy Hawkins and his contributions? We honored former Mayor Ed Pazel with the name of the community center and later a street designation for him. How about trustee Bob Warner? He served more than the required time stated in the ordinance, which is 12 years. Why not him? Where is the street designation for Ed Hansen, Frank Wagner, and who, like Jim Schultz, served 9 consecutive terms? How about Dick Starch? He was elected for 3 separate terms, and he died while in office. when he would have reached his 12-year time limit for the street sign. Does all of this mean we take away Spencer Avenue? After all, Joe Spencer only served 6 years on the village board, and yet he has a street designation. Do we take away Theodore Avenue, which was named for Ted Theodore, who only served 2 years as a trustee? Or do we change history and say Theodore Avenue is really for Agnes Theodore, who served at least 25 years as village clerk, because there's nothing honoring her. Then we have Mark Collins, but he didn't serve 12 years. So do we take away the sign designation that we've given him? Charlie Collins was elected to the village board in 1971 and re-elected in 75 and 79. While serving his 3rd term, he died in office during his 12th year of service. He served as chairman of the South Village Board of Public Relations, Fire and Police Commissioner, Director of Civil Defense, Chairperson of the South Village 25th Anniversary, Co-Chair of the Combined Organization Bicentennial Committee, and the Bicentennial Wagon Train came to South Village in 1876. He was the original person of South Village, chairperson of the South Village Christmas Basket Committee. As for my fellow veteran Jim Schultz, it is sad that it took over 8 years to accept the fact that he was never honored. We have been focused on it's all about me and not focused on doing what is right. Because you're the top department manager on the job, you do not give yourself bonuses every year or a 15% pay increase. My vote was not a reflection on anyone's service, but a reflection of the lack of vision and moral constitution to do the right thing.
Right.
Trustee Todd?
I have nothing at this time.
Trustee Jones?
Summer camp registration still continues. In the community center this Saturday, started at 10 a.m. All come out. Any questions? Everyone should feel free to answer, to get all questions answered at that time. And for the record, last year was the first year that I and Patricia Denson together collaborated with the summer camp with her. Last year, there was no damage done to the community center. There was no damage done to any of the village properties. There still was no one to claim. So this, what was told, happened in the previous administration, the previous person over Parks and Recreation. Last year went off without a hitch. There was plenty of kids. Everyone enjoyed themselves. There wasn't any complaints that I received. There was any complaints that Patricia received. Things would run a lot smoother if we had more volunteers. There's a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of people that don't believe in the youth of South Village. Therefore, they don't volunteer to help the youth of South Village. If you are concerned about the youth of South Village, please volunteer. I had a co-chair last year, a co-chair of Parks and Recreation that did not volunteer 1 minute to the youth of South Village. So therefore,
excuse me.
No, this is the truth. This is all I'm saying is this is the truth, and I wanted the truth to come out because I don't want people to look at our youth and look at the programs that are trying to come out of Parks and Recs now in a negative manner. We need to stay positive in a positive manner, and negative people If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. Please give the children a chance. That's all I'm asking. Just give the kids a chance. Why condemn something if people are still signing up for it at 4, 5, 6? There are programs throughout this whole southern suburbs. There are $1,200 for less time in providing less activities than what was being provided over here at the community center. Do I think it's expensive? Yes. Is providing education, camaraderie, experience for the kids, going out to see different places, can you put a price tag on that? I can't. Can we please allow something positive to happen before we condemn it? It hasn't even started yet, but yet all the negativity comes in, but yet no one wants to volunteer. So please, if you want to volunteer, please come see me, and we can set up some time so we can make sure that there's slots for volunteering. And that will help cut costs. And also, there is a fundraiser. The fundraiser is July 8th, 2017, 7 p.m. South Village, the Parks and Recreation Center, the Pazel Center. There's a Chicago Sky. There's a trip to Chicago Sky. The tickets are $15. By selling these tickets, that includes the bus and the ticket to the game from the community center to the United Center. And it's just $15. This will help the kids absorb some of the fees. So if you feel that you can't make it, donations will be accepted. Please come out Saturday to the community center and find out more information on how you can help send some kids to summer camp. Maybe you want to be a sponsor. Maybe you want to partially sponsor some kids. It's all about getting involved. If you don't want to get involved, please do not stop the process. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Quickly, there's a walk of life. Well, first things first, there's the graduation will be this Friday at the Bloom Trail High School. I think all, I think the trustees did get invitations. So if you guys would like to come, that would be a great thing that we can show up. And I'm sorry, it's a Relay for Life. It's still a walk and a run. It's a Relay for Life for Cancer that'll be held also that same day in the auditorium of Bloom Trail High School. So if you would like to come to the to the graduation for Rickover and stay to just show support right next at the gym, that'll be nice. And also I'd like to invite all of the people of South Village to come out and help support the Relay for Life, because that's a cancer event for all types of cancer. And it happens every year, and I'm glad they choose us to be there. I've been there, I think, 3 or 4 times, and it's really, really exciting. On another note, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be through, I really appreciate and I really take it serious being mayor of Sauk Village. However, I know there's some challenges, and there's going to be some challenges. But I just put a challenge to myself that I'm hoping this time next year that I can get this aisle that we have of demarcation in this village to cross over. I'm hoping that in the year's time that we can all come together for one common goal, and that's for the betterment of Sauk Village, instead of us always trying to criticize what each and every person is trying to do. That's all I'm asking. That's a challenge that I put to myself. That's something that I'm hoping that we can overcome as a village, because together we stand, divided we fall. And if we don't try to make this happen, it's our fault. So I appreciate the criticism. I have no problem with that, because I understand that's what the office is all about. But don't let the village suffer because of it. They will not come out and volunteer and get involved in the village because of what you may feel. Because when you come out to volunteer, when you come out to help, you're helping the village. You're not helping me. You're not helping anyone else. You're helping the village. This is for the village. So, in that said, I'll take a motion to, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Say aye. I was just told, which is my fault. No, just an announcement real quick. Top on top.
Oh, yeah, what is Top on Top?
Top on top will be this Friday. I think it starts at 5 a.m. in the morning. It'll be at Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, I was told 5. Okay. But come out support your police officers at Dunkin' Donuts this Friday.